Most coaches think that you need to work more hours to actually earn more. And I did, until I realized that I was building somebody else's version of success. And let's be honest, right? We start coaching because we want to coach. And the more people you see, the bigger your mission and the more success you will get through both transforming people's lives, but also making money, because that's what we went self-employed for, right? It rapidly started to weigh thick on me when I was doing 40, 50 hours a week of personal training sessions. I didn't understand how you scale your business other than just work more hours. And if I'm honest, I didn't even have time to spend the money. Back then, we're talking 10 years ago, longer, 16 years ago. But at that point, it was, for me, I thought the more people I seen, the more money I made, the more success I had. And at that time, I was earning a lot of money per week and thinking I was absolutely crushing it. But the reality was I was just drained all the time and I wasn't actually living my life. And it's all because I was chasing that focus of filling my diary as much as I possibly could. And the shift for me was to turn my business model into what I could see other people doing, but I couldn't quite figure out what it was they were doing. But from the outside, I could see that people were earning more money and not having to do more hours. The first shift I did was going from one-to-one coaching to 1-to-3 or 1-to-4, which made a massive difference. But then later on, when I went online, I still didn't understand what to do until I changed this one tactic. And it was to stop playing small and stop thinking that there's a ceiling in the ability of where you can go with business. I went from a period of chasing clients all the time and burning out, always creeping in and trying to manage that, and then constantly comparing myself to other people, because I was always looking at it thinking, why does it look easy for them and it isn't for me? Why am I struggling so much? And I went from my calendar being completely full to then shifting it to having more space in my calendar. I then had a higher income, lower stress, and actually I was able to be clear on the direction I was taking the business. And the huge shift here was the time when I started bringing in systems and started looking at my business professionally on my terms, as opposed to just throwing hours in and making fast money. It is all about the bigger vision. It's all about the mission that you are on and where you are taking your business. And today I want to talk through the 3 shifts that take somebody from, let's call them a standard coach, to a pro business owner. Before we go into this, these are the vital things that will transform you as a person, as a business, and enable you to see that the ceiling isn't ever there. There's always a next level. Because one of the things that I struggled with for a very long time was I seen one direction I was going in the business, and I thought that was the only way. But that's when you're focusing on fixing that individual problem. And I call it a problem, and you know, a lot of people get confused with this, so let me break this down. But you're always fixing a problem in business. If you are a powerlifting coach, you're fixing a problem of somebody not being able to get strong, so you're helping them do that. If you're a over 40s dad's coach, you're fixing a problem of dads not being fat and unfit, or whatever it is that they're doing. So look at it as in like a problem. And when you fix this problem and you constantly work on doing that thing, it became for me an obsession of keep doing that same thing, instead of looking at the bigger, wider sort of part of business that will grow more, because you are more focused on the long term as opposed to the quick fixes. So the first thing is, it's going from time-based to value-based. And quite simply with this, most coaches start with, let's say, one-to-one coaching, right? You start in a gym and you're doing coaching, you're figuring out as you go, because that's just normal, that's what you do, but you're trading time for money. And when you trade time for money, very similar to me in the start of my journey, it was the only way I could scale was to trade more time for money. And number one, definitely do that for a period of time, because you need to learn the reps, you need to understand how to communicate with people, you need to understand how to build a business and hustle and sell, because that's what you are, a salesperson. So definitely get the reps in doing that. But if you continue to trade time for money, you are constantly working on more hours as opposed to working on fulfilling more or fixing more problems. And when you look at this as a limited sort of business model, you have to do the hours to be able to fix more problems, which is also going to earn you more money. So it's switching the model. to not being the person that is trading time for money, but actually serving more people. It could actually be lowering your prices, making a system that is repeatable and you can reach more people. There's lots of options of what to do. But when you are trading time for money, this is one of the areas that you need to identify that if you are doing that, then you're going to be capped. Number 2 then is chasing from tactics of how you operate to actually owning a system. And what I mean by this is, like, most coaches will try and do like every new content hack, for example, or they try and implement a system, but they're not actually looking into what it is for, what it does, and what they're able to get out of it. Most people will just do that because it's the next shiny object. But look at the system, look at the method, and figure out, is it the right thing for you in your business right now with where you are? Because again, if you're constantly looking at the next hack, the next shiny object, you're never actually working towards something. You're just constantly chasing the next trend, if you like, instead of implementing. But the systems are the most important thing that you will do in your business that will buy back time, that will clear up your offer, and will enable you to then work on, number 1, the things that you enjoy working on within your business, because let's be honest, there's things you don't enjoy working on within your business, and they're the stuff you don't be doing. But then there's also the other side of it where you're then going to be able to spend more time on the marketing and sales, which is the driver for your business. And if you're like me and you're running a personal brand, that is the key element to it. So that's exactly what the Access Ladder is about. Within my business, I've built this system called the Access Ladder, where we go from free content and we make people aware of the business and what we can do, and we give them value. Then we take them onto a mini course, and then we take them onto a paid group, and then we work with them one-to-one if they want to. And they can go up the ladder. The more access they get to me, the more money they pay. And that, again, is something that I help coaches implement into their businesses, because when you have a clear offer sequence like that, people can jump in at any point and it will suit the individual, as opposed to always having the same offer that you're just constantly putting out and people think that's the only thing you do. Some people want to work with you, they just need to see more of it. And that's exactly what the Access Ladder is about. Number 3 then is from external validation to internal alignment. And this is something that I went through myself, and I see a lot of people either still in this position or working on it. And I also see a lot of people that have mastered this, for example. But throughout business, something that often will happen is where you will be seeking external validation as opposed to feeling comfortable within what you're teaching and what you're doing and who you are, etc. Now, at some point you realize that it's not all about the success of 6 or 7 figures, whatever it is that you're working towards, but it's actually about living life the way you want to live life. And this for me was a massive shift that I implemented into my life and my business, because the most important thing for me is to be able to take the kids to school, go to their school plays, do the things that they will remember for the rest of their lives. And maybe the things that you could look at yourself and think you didn't have. They're the things that mean more to me. And we've bought a place in Spain. We want to be able to go back and forth from there. We've had to cut back on certain things to be able to pay for that, because I'm a normal person, and as much as I hit months that are record months, that doesn't mean that it can buy things like that straight outright. And this is why I'm so honest and real with my content, because I want to show coaches how to go from, like I was, a council estate boy and I grew up with nothing, no support financially or anything. And I turned it round so that I was able to live this life. I went through initially that whole, yes, I was seeking for validation because I didn't have those things. But then I took that shift to more about the internal alignment and living life on my terms and doing the things that I want to do. I was at one point attracted to this whole business mentor lifestyle that everyone was, I want to say, faking, because let's be honest, not everything that you see is real. It was only the other day that I seen an absolute clown, I will say, but I won't say his name, on a first class seat on a plane, and he was doing an advert. That sort of shit is what takes people into the wrong way of wanting to live life, in my opinion, because it's not about the fact that you're on a first class business, whatever it is. You probably paid it through your business, and you can actually Klarna things like that now, so more for you. But if that is the stuff that you are seeking for that validation on, then ask yourself that question. Is it really me, and is it really what I want to do? I had been down that route of buying things because I thought they looked good and wanting more because that's what I thought that was the right thing to do. But then I took a shift at one point and I realized that actually it's not about those things. It's more about the experiences, my family, and what I do. So look, they are the 3 shifts that I would challenge you to challenge yourself on. Do they align with you? Are they something that you need to work on? Are they something that you see value in making on that shift? But this is the whole reason of my new program. So I'm on to my volume 2 of my mentoring program, where I help established online coaches build a hybrid or online coaching business that allows freedom and income so that they're living life on their terms. And spoiler alert, because it's not officially out yet, depending on when you see this video, but the name of it is The Shift. So I've gone from launch 7, which is, I did the first 6 months, working with people, gathering data, and really building that flow of understanding what people need and how they want it to be delivered to them. And now I'm on my version 2, which is, again, I've called it The Shift because it is exactly what it says on the tin. It's shift from, chaos to clarity, shifting from manual to systems. There's a lot of mindset shifts. There's a lot of system shifts, tech shifts. There's a lot of model shifts. Everything inside the program is built around shifting you from the average coach to pro business owner. And if you feel like you are the person that needs the shift in your life, then go onto Instagram and DM me the number 69, then I'll send over the information so you can see the full breakdown of this. Or whilst I have you and you're here, if you're not already in my Skool community, then click on the description below and get access to the content strength system, which is completely free. It's a value tool for you to implement into your business, to see exactly what we're about and to get inside my Skool community. When you're inside there, you then get access to me and support with however you want to build your business. Hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you wrote some notes down and some of the things hit you and made you think, because that's what the shift is all about. We're not plowing through the days just hoping that things are going to fall into place. And I'm helping coaches actually get a grip on their shit rather than feeling like they're in this big pool of noise and it's just hard because the algorithm is tough or people are more established than me and all these fears and, let's be honest, bullshit that people make up for themselves. But it's not easy to just make a change. And that's exactly why I built The Shift. So if you're looking at joining us for this month, then DM me the number 69. If not, hang around for the next video and you can absorb some more stuff and I'll speak to you very soon.